G'day guys, it's been a while since the last time I've done one of these types of videos, and a lot has happened. A lot has happened on the channel, a lot has happened on the platform, a lot has happened in Don't Starve and like the DST community, and there are some things that I wanted to talk about. There are some changes that I'm going to be making, some things coming up that are worth mentioning, and some stuff that has happened in the background that I also want to discuss a little bit. And I do this thing where I will mention a little bit on stream, and then I'll mention a little bit on Discord, and maybe in a pinned comment or something. But no one ends up knowing like the full picture, so I felt like it would be worthwhile making this video to consolidate all of that in one place. So that's what I'm doing. And I want to summarize everything very briefly at the beginning. So if you just want to know like what's been going on, then yeah, you only need to watch like the first minute or so. But I will discuss further as we get deeper into the video. So, and first things first, I am going to be making a new channel. And on this channel, I'm going to focus on non-Don't Starve content. So mainly gameplay for other games. You know, I play a lot of other games besides DST, and I enjoy playing a lot of games besides DST. That it makes me sad that I can't really share those things with you guys, and I've tried experimenting with that on this channel and it hasn't really taken off. So I want to try that on a new channel, see how it goes. I will talk more about that in a second. But I do want you to know that it's not really going to impact what I do on this channel. I'm not quitting. I still love DST. I still look forward to the updates. I still want to make videos about my time in this game. When is the WX rework coming? Like, come on, man. I've been waiting so long. So if you're interested in watching me play games that are not Don't Starve, maybe you should check that out. I'm tentatively calling that channel Rebuilt Demon, which is very imaginative, I know. I don't know, I find it hard to leave behind the username that I have, so I don't really want to come up with a new name, but I also don't want to call it like Demon Rebuilt 2, because then it feels like it's a sub channel, and I don't know, I want to give it a good chance. I wouldn't mind if it became more popular than this channel. I would love that. I would love for it to be another main channel instead of being like you can only like this if you already like my main channel, because that's just not a good way to go about it. So yeah, I will leave a link to that in the description or in the pinned comment or both. So check that out if you're interested in watching me play games that are not DST. I'm planning on re-uploading my some of the videos that I've done over the last few years that didn't really gain a big foothold on this channel, but I think might do a bit better on a new channel. It's a bit of an experiment, so it might fail completely and it might do really well. I honestly have no idea, but we'll give it a go. In other news, I'm heading to Europe next week and I'm going to be there for a couple of months. So you're probably not going to see a whole lot of me over the next few months. I have like 1 or 2 videos that I've got ready to go that will show up on the channel at some point. Like the Wormwood 200 Days, which is ready to go, and you can watch it if you're a channel member, and I'll release that at some point. And there might be another video or 2 or some shorts or something like that. Definitely not streams. I don't really have a setup over there. I have a shitty laptop that doesn't work too well. So yeah, there's not a whole lot that I'm going to be able to do from there, which is a shame. I genuinely like what I do, and I'm disappointed that I'm not going to be able to do much streaming or video making, but it is what it is. I'm sure by the time I come back, I'm gonna be just like itching to like get at my desk and work on the next video. So yeah, it's something to look forward to in the new year. And I also wanted to mention that like 2 weeks ago, some of you might have noticed that my YouTube account got hacked, and it was showing some kind of crypto stream. Thankfully, we got everything back. It's all good. I didn't lose anything. I didn't, yeah, no permanent damage. So I was really glad and relieved, to say the least. I do want to talk a little bit about how that happened and the aftermath of that, because yes, it's embarrassing, and like I should have known better, and I'm really frustrated that it happened, but I think it's also worthwhile to shine a bit of light on it, so maybe it won't happen to other people. You know, use my story for good, kind of thing. Over the last few months, I've been looking for some kinds of brand deals or sponsorships for the channel, because ad revenue has not really been consistent lately. And by lately, I mean the last few years. It hasn't been great, to say the least. So I've been trying to look at ways of supplementing this, and I had approached a few brands and not really heard anything in response. But it was still early days, and I got a message on Twitter, which honestly is a red flag in itself. But it was from a reputable brand, and they were offering some kind of sponsorship. I was like, okay, this seems cool. It was like a headphone peripheral kind of company. You know, first thing I did, I checked out who this person was. Their account seemed a little bit sus because they hadn't posted anything for about 2 years. But you know, maybe it was just a brand account to reach out to streamers, and thought not much more than that. So I said, yeah, I'm interested. What's the go here? What are you offering? They said something about promoting a new product that had an NDA, and you know, if I was interested, then I could sign this NDA, and we could move into further discussions. Okay, well, show me what is this thing. And they wanted to see some analytics, so I just showed them a screenshot with no, like, it didn't have any personal information or anything like that. I don't even know if it had ad revenue in it. They just wanted to see, like, does your channel have views on it, basically. And like at this point, it wasn't like alarm bells, but it seemed a little bit sus to me. So I was playing along because I wanted to see what the catch was. I was waiting for them to spring something and then be like, ah, yeah, this is clearly a scam. Okay. But I was playing along for the time being. I probably shouldn't have. But yeah, we carried on with our conversation, and they wanted to send over a form for me to look at, and then if I was happy with that, I could sign it, and we could do business like that. So they sent me this form, and I had a look at it, and it didn't seem particularly convincing. It was about a page and a half with passable syntax at best. It didn't have spaces for someone to actually fill in any details. It just had like channel name or, you know, things like that. I'm like, this seems a bit dodgy, bit more dodgy. There's quite a few red flags building up at this stage. But there was also no way to actually sign this document. They mentioned that you needed a program to then sign the document. They sent a link to this program in a zip file, and the program itself was legit. Like it's an actual document signing program. And I didn't trust this link because I didn't completely trust this person at this stage. So I went to the company website for the program, which I recommend doing if you ever come across any, like if someone ever sends you a direct link to a program, but you know the program is legitimate, download the program from its website. That's just the safest way to do things, which is what I did. And I downloaded it, and it opened fine, and it worked fine, and I made an account, and it was all good. But the problem was I couldn't figure out how to get this document, which I had read, onto this legitimate program, which I had installed. And it was driving me insane. I couldn't figure it out. Was there, like, if there was some kind of key that I needed to put in to make it show up, or if I had to download it to import it, or it was just driving me insane. And I spoke to the customer support AI, and that was useless. And I was just getting very frustrated that I couldn't figure it out. And eventually I just caved and like, fine, I'll download it from their stupid installer, because maybe they have a different version of the program and it comes preloaded or something. And of course it was a malicious link, and they hacked my account from that. So that was really dumb. It was really, really dumb. And I'm so annoyed that I fell for it. Not because I missed the warning signs. I saw all of the warning signs, and I did it anyway because I was annoyed that I couldn't get it to work. That's that's very, very annoying. Thankfully, I managed to get everything back. I had to jump through a lot of hoops to get this channel back. There's no way to reach out to Google support directly. Um, there's a way to contact support from within your YouTube channel if you're a partner. Obviously, I didn't have access to this channel anymore, so I couldn't do that. They don't have an email address or something. I had to tweet at them to get their attention, and then they sent me a form that I could fill out. And then from that form, I could speak to support, and they sent like another form. And speaking to them took like 6 hours between messages. It was stressful, to say the least, just kind of waiting around, not being able to do anything. It's probably something that I hate the most in this kind of situation. The fact that there was nothing I could do to speed up the process or help out in any way. I just had to wait. Often I had to go to bed not knowing if I would wake up to a resolution or more forms to fill out or a flat out rejection. They removed my channel pretty quickly, and every time I went to click on it, it said, oh, this channel has been removed, but it can be reinstated or something like that. But at one point I checked on it and it said the channel was permanently removed and will never be returned, or something like terrifying, like the last thing that you would want to see when you're trying to recover your channel. Thankfully, it just seemed like it was a placeholder message because it was reinstated shortly after that. The whole process took like 2 or 3 days from getting hacked to getting access to it, and then another 2 weeks for everything to be put back to normal, like the channel page and the playlists and the logos and the revenue to be returned to normal. Man, absolute nightmare. Really, really bad. Safe to say I didn't get a whole lot done in that time, which is annoying because like I mentioned, I'm going away soon, and I was trying to get some videos done so that when I'm gone, there wouldn't be just nothing on the channel for 3 months. Yeah, safe to say I didn't get a whole lot done, and I'm sorry about that, but there was not much I could do. I found it very difficult to concentrate when my entire career's work was just hanging in the balance. Somewhat ironically, I do consider myself to be quite tech savvy and aware of these kinds of scams in general, and that makes it all the more frustrating. But I'm grateful that it could have been a lot worse, despite having access to my email address, they only did this one live stream and didn't do anything else. Like they didn't go into any of my finances or my Twitch or Discord or other email addresses or anything like that. I make sure to have unique passwords for everything and two-factor authentication for everything that I possibly can. So maybe at the end of the day, that was what saved me from a much worse situation. I guess that's the main thing to take away from this event is one, be careful. If something looks sus, it's not worth the risk, but it's also just not worth your time or effort. Sometimes, I don't know if it's morbid curiosity, but I like to kind of play along with these kinds of scams sometimes just to see, like, what is your intention? What do you want from me? Like, where are you trying to get me? So then I can be more informed. But it's just not worth it. That's what I've realized. It's not worth playing along, even if there's a small chance that they will get you from it. And I'm also not going to do any business on Twitter, that's for sure. You can email me at least. But like I said, I had been looking for sponsorships and opportunities like that over the last few months because the channel is in a bit of a weird place at the moment. And I feel like the greater DST community on YouTube is in a bit of a weird place. I don't really know how to describe it. I've been trying to think of how exactly to characterize how I feel about the environment, but despite the game seems to be doing alright, you know, player numbers are consistent if not increasing. The game seems to be doing well. The devs don't seem like they're stopping making content anytime soon, which is good. But it feels like it's emptier. I don't know what else it is. I don't really know how to describe it. It feels like there's less excitement when there's an update. It feels like the updates are more surface level and aren't super groundbreaking, earth-shattering updates like we used to have. I guess that's to be expected when you have a 10-year-old game. When I started gaining traction on YouTube initially, this is like 10 years ago now, I was just making gameplay videos, just straight Let's Plays with no editing whatsoever, really. And they did well. Like, it's kind of crazy to me that I genuinely feel almost embarrassed by some of the videos that I used to put out back then that have very little editing in them, but people seem to enjoy them, and there was a great desire for this kind of content, but that doesn't seem to be the case anymore. Obviously, the videos that I make have changed along the way as well. I made a shift away from Let's Plays to more of a guide-focused channel over the years, and that did really well for a time, and then that started to taper off as well. I'm not gonna lie, it's been a bit difficult to find an established meta or trend that I enjoy making that works well in this community, in the DST community. I've tried a few different things. I've tried some guides, I've tried some gameplay, I've tried like tips and trivia, funny moments. I've done a lot of different things. You can never say that I haven't tried. Nothing really seems to hit in the same way that it did years ago. Like, I feel like if I had made the same videos 5 years ago, they would have exploded. Yet now it just doesn't quite hit the same. And I don't know exactly why that is. It's one of the problems with YouTube as a platform is there are so many things, so many different variables that go into whether or not a video does well that you can never really be certain what it is. Like, maybe my videos are just boring now and I've fallen off. Maybe the thumbnail and title are not that interesting. Maybe the content is not that interesting. Maybe the game is not as big anymore. Maybe my subscribers don't play anymore. Like, I've had this channel for more than a decade, and pretty much everyone who has subscribed to my channel, like out of the 30,000 people that are here, the vast majority of them were people who enjoyed DST like 5 years ago. That would be like the main demographic of people on this channel. And there would be like a small percentage that subscribed for other things and a small percentage that subscribed in recent times. But that's kind of a worrying analysis, because then it means that most of the people who have subscribed just might not like the game itself. Like, how many years do you like a thing for? Some people would stick around for a long time, but most move on to something else. I've been playing Silksong recently, but last month I was playing Palia, and before that I was playing Rotwood, and before that I was playing Judgment, and before that I was playing Balatro. Like, I move around. I play other things. I don't expect everyone who liked DST 6 years ago to like it now, but YouTube kind of does. I find it worrying to be stuck in a niche that is getting smaller. Because like, if DST, it's an old game, maybe the interest goes down over time. Like, it's natural. I accept that. It just is like that sometimes. So I try to branch out to other things. You know, I've played other games in my time. I enjoy other things. I'm a man of many tastes. But I've found that making videos for other games on this channel just don't do well because of the way that YouTube recommends them to people. From what I've gathered, YouTube will first push your videos to your most loyal followers, so people who watch everything, and people with channel notifications turned on. And that makes sense. Like, if they watch all your videos, they will probably watch the next one. And if your video does well, then they will push it to a slightly larger group of people who usually watch your videos, and then people who sometimes watch your videos. And you know, you get the point. It gets pushed to bigger and bigger groups until it fails whatever hurdle, and YouTube is like, okay, this group of people is not interested, so we're going to stop showing it to people at this point. And in theory, that's okay, because most channels will be curated to be about a certain topic, so it will show the video to everyone who's interested in that topic, and then, you know, maybe dabble a little bit further until it stops finding people who are interested. But the problem is, if my topic, like if my whole channel is Don't Starve related, and I try to make a video about Terraria or Stardew Valley, then YouTube is going to show it to my subscribers who subscribed for Don't Starve content. And it's going to see immediately that they're not as interested. I don't expect them to be interested because it's a different game, you know? I don't know why YouTube would expect them to be interested in that, but it also means that it doesn't try to send it to anyone else. It's just like, oh, well, this video failed the first hurdle, so clearly if your subscribers aren't interested, then nobody would be interested, and we're just gonna shut this all down. So I've made a handful of videos for other games that I honestly think are some of the best videos I've ever made, and YouTube just doesn't want to show them to anyone, which is really disheartening. And that's the main reason why I want to try this new channel, because I can't think of any other way to encourage YouTube to just try sending it to people, try showing someone, and maybe they would like it. It's an experiment. It's probably a last ditch attempt to see if I can get any kind of traction with something that's not Don't Starve. If it, you know, falls into a heap and fails miserably, then I'll probably accept defeat on that. But it would be so nice if it worked. I just have so much fun playing a lot of different things, and I think it really shines through in those videos. how how much I enjoy games in general. So if you are at all interested in watching me play other things, then yeah, please head over to that channel, subscribe. Um, I'm going to upload some of the videos that I already had on this channel. I'm going to re-upload them there, and hopefully they do a bit better. I'm also weighing up whether or not I want to stream on this channel or on the Rebuilt channel. At this moment, my thinking is I will stream DST on this channel because this is the DST channel, and I will stream everything else on the Rebuilt channel because that's the everything else channel. I'm not super happy about having to split my attention like that, and it feels weird for people who watch my streams to just not know which place I'm going to be in for every stream. But I can't think of a better way to do that. I really hate the way that YouTube does live stream notifications as well. This is an aside, but when you have notifications turned on for YouTube videos, you get a notification whenever there's a YouTube video, but you also get a notification whenever there's a live stream, which is in itself problematic because if you watched my guides and want to know when I make the next guide, you don't necessarily want to know when I'm streaming. Like, I don't know why the two are equal. And when you make a video, you have an option to turn off whether or not it gets sent to your subscription feed or to people with notifications. I turn this off whenever I upload a short because I don't want people getting spammed whenever I upload shorts. That would be annoying. But you can't do that for live streams for whatever reason. So all these people who subscribed for my videos are now getting notified every single time I go live to play Silksong or Balatro or something like that. And that would be really freaking annoying. So I'm sorry, that's not me, that's YouTube. I can't turn that off. But that's part of the reason why I think it makes more sense to stream on the Rebuilt channel, because then you know that I'm going to be playing other things. And if I'm streaming DST on my current channel, like, yeah, you would expect me to. So it's not as bad. It's still bad, but it's not as bad. But yeah, like I said before, I am going away very soon, so I'm not going to be streaming at all until 2026. So yeah, I won't have to deal with that. I'll have some time to think a little bit more about that before I make a decision. If you wanted any details on where I'm going, I'm flying into London first, and I'm going to spend some time in London with my family. Some of my family is already there. I'm going to fly over with my brother, and we're going to meet up and do some London things over there. Then I'm going to head to the Netherlands. From there, we're going to go to Italy. We're going to travel around for a couple of weeks together, and then I'm going to head back to the Netherlands and stay with my girlfriend for the next 2 months. So I'm going to be gone for 3 months in total. And it feels weird to say this because obviously I'm excited and I'm looking forward to it. But I'm also I'm very anxious and stressed out about this trip because I'm not leaving in the best situation. I feel like I don't have everything in order, and like the channel hasn't been doing really well, and I don't like that I'm kind of forced to take my hands off the wheel for a bit and just see how it drives on its own. I would very much like to be able to still do things and still work on videos, but I only have my really shitty laptop that barely runs like Discord, so I don't think I'm going to be able to do a whole lot. But it means that when I come back, things are not going... I don't expect things to have magically improved while I'm away, meaning that it's going to be even more stressful and, yeah, even more difficult when I come back. I'm not gonna lie, if things don't improve in a significant way over the next 6 to 12 months, I'm not sure how long I'm gonna be able to continue doing this. Like, YouTube is more than just a hobby for me. This is my work. This is my full-time job. And as much as I would love to ignore channel analytics and revenue and things like that, that's not the reality of the situation that I'm in. I like to think of myself as someone who is optimistic, and I always look at the next thing that could be good, and the next video will do better, or the next trend will hit it off. And eventually you have to kind of come to the conclusion that it's not working and something has to change. And I don't want to leave this channel. I still enjoy it very much. I love streaming. I love making videos. I love playing games with you guys and hanging out in chat. And I will continue doing it as much as I am able to. But there might get to a point where I'm simply not able to. And I hope that day never comes. And I'm really appreciative of everyone who supports me directly, either being a Twitch sub or channel member or Patreon or whatever it is. I appreciate it immensely. Like, you genuinely have no idea how much that kind of support means to me and how important it is to me these days. I may have to make some changes if things don't turn around. So hopefully this new channel no pressure, but hopefully this new channel does alright. My plan is to re-upload those videos, like I said, over the time that I'm away, and when I come back I'll assess how it goes. If all of those videos do really, really badly and I get absolutely no traction, then I might just give up on it and try something else. But if it looks like it's doing alright, then I would be more than happy to continue with that. I like I said, I really enjoy making those videos. I really enjoy playing other games, and I would love to share that with you guys. I think that's everything that I want to say. I hope it wasn't too long or too rambly for you guys. Thank you if you stuck it out all the way to the end. I appreciate you guys a lot. And I hope to see you soon. But until next time, take care.